So conversations go deep today. Powerful truths may surface. You may feel the urge to speak boldly and confront what's hidden, right? Pluto is hidden. It's great for investigation. Be mindful not to overpower. Honor both voice and vulnerability. Voice and vulnerability. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast, where practical spirituality meets real life. Hi, I'm your host, She Tells Story. I'm a psychic medium, grief support counselor, professional astrologer, and a human design reader, and of course, a law of attraction master coach. With my unique blend of spiritual and practical tools, I am here to help you align with your soul-led purpose and ignite a life that sets your soul on fire. In this podcast, we are going to explore the principles of energy, astrology, spirituality, and psychology to help you heal your grief and create an aligned life and business from the inside out. Whether you are looking to deepen your intuition, understand your cosmic design, or transform your business, this podcast is for you. Join me each week for insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories that will guide you on your journey to living your very best life. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at She Tells Story or wherever you listen to this podcast. Let's dive in and start this transformative journey together. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast. Welcome to the Astro forecast for the week of June 23rd to the 29th. We are coming up to the end of the month, and this is a chock full week, y'all. There is over 10 transits happening on this day. And let me tell you, the end of the week, better than the beginning of the week, because where there's a bit of stuck energy at the beginning of the week, that the end of the week has more flow, more ingenuity, more lightness coming in. So buckle up, y'all, because everything is happening for an opportunity. So we start out the week on Monday, June 23rd in a fourth quarter moon phase. We're going to have a new moon this week. This means the energy is losing light. We might feeling tired. We might feel a little scattered. The moon is in Gemini as we start out the week. So this flavor of Gemini is going to move through the week. And Gemini moon energy is that we can be very flaky and scattered. We are going wherever our hearts desire, but we are also very connected, chatty, where we're wanting to learn a lot. This is a week where we can get very distracted, going down rabbit holes on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, where you're like, oh, all of a sudden you're learning about the spore cycle of a mushroom. And you're like, wait a second, I was actually here doing something. So paying attention to how focused you are and grounded. This is going to be really a week to stay grounded in your body and focus on where you want to go, because you can easily be taken off track. On Monday, June 23rd, we have Mars in conjunct to Pluto. Mars is our motivation, our desire, our forward momentum, and Pluto is death, rebirth, and transformation, control, manipulation. So when we have Mars in conjunct is a 150-degree angle. There's a kink in the energy. They don't work well together. We've got to work them to make them work together. So our forward momentum is blocked. We're feeling kind of hemmed in. We're feeling stuck. Maybe we're feeling controlled, or we don't have the authority or ability to move forward in the way that we want. So this is a sense of pressure, power struggle between what you want to do and maybe what the rules are that are kind of governing you. So it just kind of, and it lives beneath the surface. This can also present in terms of an attachment to a timeline that doesn't belong to you, because Mars is in Virgo. And Virgo loves to control things and put pressure on itself to be amazing. And when it's in conjunct to Pluto, it's not moving ahead in the way that it's desiring. So this can be a feeling where you're feeling like you're not moving as fast as you want, or you're getting frustrated, or perhaps even overwhelmed because you think you should be doing something that isn't really coming together right now. And of course, there are timelines that are real, like taxes and legal stuff and work stuff. And wherever you can negotiate some kind of leeway in your timelines, this is going to be super helpful tip for the beginning of this week. So transformation through focused effort. So you're going to really have to regroup and refocus to get to where you want to go. So this energy is actually helping you to create better processes, maybe some refinement, and creating more efficiencies in the way that you're doing things. Also on Monday, we have the Sun square to Neptune. This makes things really murky. This is, there's a line between truth and illusion, and it feels blurry today. So you might not get the truth, or you're not sure if you should make a big decision yet, there's not a lot of clarity at the beginning of the week. We're going to get clarity, on Thursday. So right now, if you're making a major decision on something and you're trying to decide this way or that, and it feels really unclear, don't make a decision. You don't have all the facts. Things feel like you might, but you don't. You don't. This square is making things very, very murky, and emotions are heightened. Idealism can cloud judgment now. So rest, receive, listen inwardly rather than seeking validation outside yourself. Spiritual renewal, emotional intuition, creative healing. This is a really great time to just listen to your inward nudges. Notice where the universe is giving you signs and symbols to go in one direction or another, and really avoid that escapism or disillusionment. Sun square to Neptune is also diffusing energy. So you can feel really tired on this day. This is right before the new moon on Wednesday. So this can be a day where you really just feel very listless, very tired, and if you're feeling tired, take a nap. Take a nap. This Neptune energy is saying time to heal you, time to rest and be within. Also, note now as we move into Tuesday, Jupiter is in conjunct to Pluto. So this is expansion meets like a block. We're wanting to expand, we're wanting to just do our heart desires, and you're like, oh, I have things to do. So growth feels slightly out of sync today. You may want to move forward emotionally, but old fears or power patterns hold you back. Again, where are you attaching to timelines? Where are you attaching to the belief that other people are going to judge you, are going, you're not have enough, imposter syndrome? That's all of this energy. Integration, not intensity, is the medicine now. So this is an energy to not push forward. I know many of you listening are powerful A-type personalities, and I attract them in because I want to. I get it. Now is not the time to power through. This is a time to sit back and ask yourself, what is the universe trying to show me? What is the opportunity here in this delay, in this block, in this not feeling right? There's something that you're not being able to see just yet. And it's okay that you can't see it yet. Give it some time. Today is not the day. On Wednesday, June 25th, we have the new moon in Cancer. This is a beautiful new moon because it is conjunct Jupiter. So that means Sun, Moon, and Jupiter are all sitting within a few degrees of each other. The Sun and Moon on the exact same degree of each other, and Jupiter is also in that degree. And this new moon is happening at 4 degrees of Cancer. So this 4 degrees of Cancer also happens to be my Jupiter in my chart. So this is really interesting because I'm getting a Jupiter return. Jupiter takes 12 years to go around your chart. So as Jupiter comes back to its original position as the time you were born, that's called a return. And it's considered a very auspicious time. It's good luck, good fortune. Optimism is renewing. Things are kind of coming back around again for you to see them in a new way and up level in your life. Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So I'm really looking forward to this new moon to see what this is all about. This is going to be my first Jupiter return where I am consciously aware that it is a return, because I've been an astrologer for less than 12 years. So this is exciting for me. And this new moon at 4 degrees of Cancer is happening at 6:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 4:31 a.m. Mountain Time, or 3:31 Pacific Time a.m. So this new moon being at the same degree of Jupiter is a powerful portal for emotional rebirth, because it is also square Saturn, about responsibility, and squaring Neptune, which is about spirituality, empathy, coming in here to make your soul plans real, right? Also illusion is squared Neptune. So this is a time to plant seeds of healing, something to do with cleansing your home, clearing your home, inner peace, shoring up your inner foundations. The key is to dream big while staying grounded in reality. The square to Saturn is asking you to be responsible with what you are planting. If you're wanting to redo your home, then Saturn is saying, do it with your money plan and budget in mind. Don't just go crazy because you think you're going to, you want to do all the things. So opportunities here for emotional renewal, visioning, deeper inner security. The seeds that you plant now will come to fruition on or around the next full moon in Cancer, which is on June January 3rd, 2026. So this moons go in 6-month cycles from new moon to full moon. So new moon in Cancer today, full moon in Cancer 6 months from now, June 3rd, 2026. Then we will have another new moon in Cancer in 2026 or in June when the sun is in Cancer. So when we ride these cycles, we plant seeds on the new moon and they come to fruition on the full moon. So we are sort of watering those seeds in those 6 months, whether it's subconsciously or unintentionally or intentionally. And that's why I think writing these intentions on your calendar, you get to see, what have you planted, what are the seeds that were planted, and were those the seeds that are actually coming to fruition. So one of the ways to do this for your manifestation self, to do this with really riding the cycles, is not to create something out of thin air. It's to notice what is already in play in your life at this time in the area of Cancer. If you know your chart, you can look where Cancer rules in your chart, but you can just also know the Cancer rules inner foundations, family, intuition, emotion, mothering, nurturing, right? It's early childhood, where we were as our family. What did you inherit from your family? Those are all very Cancerian themes, right? And Cancers, if you're a Cancer listening, you inherently will have themes in your life lessons to do with the mother, right? Your mother, the mother, your family. Who do you consider family versus who is born family? And is blood thicker than water? I'm here to tell you it's not. It's not. I think a lot of cultures and a lot of families like to sell you that story because they don't want you to lose those connections with family. But sometimes family can be super toxic. And so blood is not thicker than water. We have friends and people that flow into our lives at the right and perfect moment. And sometimes that's family as well. And sometimes that's friendships. But all of them matter. All of them are important at different times of your life. So keeping that open for you. On Thursday, June 26th, we have Mercury sextile to Uranus. This is genius energy. This now is the lightness coming in for you, mentally stimulating, emotionally liberating aspect. Expect intuitive hits, fresh ideas, and surprising conversations. This is genius energy, thinking outside the box. Things just kind of come in out of nowhere. It's a great day to have breakthroughs in healing, family, and communication because Mercury is in Cancer. And Uranus is in Taurus. So this can be about bringing resources together with those inner foundations, having an aha about how things are meant to flow for you. Emotional clarity, intuitive insight, freeing conversations. This is a great time to have those deep conversations and get clarity for what was happening at the beginning of the week with that square to Neptune. So timelines. Don't attach to timelines. Don't try to rush anything this week. This is about patience this week. Also, on Thursday, June 26th, we have the Sun sextile to Mars. This is a beautiful aspect to get stuff done, right? Energy flows steadily today, and emotional focus meets practical action. Mars in Virgo. You'll find it easier to stay on task while honoring your feelings. A perfect day to combine heart and hustle. And I hate the word hustle, so I'm going to change it out for flow, right? Honor your flow today and really get things done. Thursday will be a good day to knock things off of your to-do list and stay to your agenda. Also on Thursday, we have Mercury moving from Cancer now into Leo. So, Cancer energy, Mercury is intuitive, emotional intelligence. It's very feeling. It wants to feel things through to see if this feels right for us. Now, Mercury is our mind or thought processing and the way we communicate. And now moving into Leo, now we have this fiery energy. It becomes bold, expressive, creative. You might feel more confident sharing your story. Leo is the storyteller, taking the lead in conversations. Let your words reflect your heart. Leo rules the heart. Storytelling, public speaking, authentic expression. This is all wonderful energy for the summer where we now can have this expressiveness come forward for us. On Friday, June 27th, I'm just going to say as well, coming back to the 26th, that Mercury in Leo, it can be dramatic. The shadow side of Leo is dramatic, ego driven, attention seeking. And I'm going to say no one feels like they're trying. Well, no one in my circles, anyways, tries to be attention seeking. It comes from a wound, right? So if something is happening and you don't feel acknowledged, Leo wants acknowledgement. It wants to be seen and heard and acknowledged for its contribution. So you might notice when Mercury in Leo, you have a little bit more fire to tell somebody what's what. An example of this I had a conversation with one of my kids like 2 years ago where we were talking. I'm like, you know what? I will do anything for you, but if you don't say thank you, I get upset because I have a Venus in Leo and a Saturn in Leo. So the words of affirmation are important to me. Thank you for driving me, Mom. Thank you for going out of your way today. I really appreciate it. And it's like, oh, I really appreciate you. Thank you. I like that. And that's something that makes me feel loved and acknowledged for the work that I do. If I go without that acknowledgement, I start to get resentful, which means then I'm doing without the gratitude piece. And why am I even doing it for people who don't even receive it properly? So that's something I've acknowledged with myself. And notice spirits just said that's going to trigger somebody. So if that's triggering you, ask yourself, what is that about? Where did you learn that you had to be selfless and you can't have any acknowledgement in what you do? You are just a servant. You are here to give because that is what good people do. And you can still say thank you, right? Someone holds the door open for you. You're not like, no, I'm not going to say thank you because that's what good people do. You're going to be like, thank you, right? I like acknowledgement. I acknowledge everybody. Even when my husband makes the bed, I'm like, thank you for making the bed. 25 years of making the bed. He's like, babe, of course I'm going to make the bed. I'm like, you know what? It's still nice to hear a thank you, isn't it? He's like, yeah, it's true, right? So there you go. There's my little lesson on thank yous this week and gratitude, because Mercury in Leo is going to bring that up for you and for the collective. On Friday, June 27th, we have Mercury now in Leo trine to Saturn. This is a beautiful energy. Words have structure, presence, and impact. This is a great day for clear decisions. This is your decision day, Friday. Writing, delivering meaningful messages, creative ideas can become real plans now. Strategic communication, grounded creativity. This is a great one to get writing, to get things done. If you have to submit a dissertation or an application, this is going to help you be really articulate and do a good job of it. The shadow aspect of this day is overthinking and fear of judgment. And with that Mercury in Leo, fear of judgment can be very, very loud because you want what you want. And you've been taught to not want those things because that's part of the shadow side of Leo. On Saturday, June 28th, we have Mercury trine to Neptune. This is a wonderful energy for imagination, inspiration, writing, storytelling, art, speaking from a place of compassion. This is soulful, intuitive communication, inspired speech, spiritual insights, poetic thinking. If you were to record some videos, or you wanted to do some reels, or you're wanting to paint a painting, Saturday is a great day to do that. Paint workshops and stuff. Awesome day for that too. Also, because of the spiritual nature of these signs too, great for retreats, for meditations, for anything that feel very light and bright on your soul. And then on Sunday, we have Mercury opposite to Pluto. It is intense. So we've coming into, and it's not just today, we're going to have this aspect also feeling for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday as well. Pluto opposite Mercury, or Mercury opposite Pluto. These are two fixed signs. And opposition is like a tug of war, but if you think about it, it's more like a teeter-totter. You're trying to find the balance point between your voice being acknowledged, telling your story, being heard, and then Pluto being accountable to the collective, right? Leo and Aquarius sit on opposite sides of the zodiac because it's an opposition. And Leo is about my voice, what I have to add to the collective, my special gifts and talents. And then Aquarius is, how do we then add those gifts and talents to uplift humanity? How do we elevate concepts now to help everyone, right? If we think of Leo as the breakthrough in a scientific pioneering something bold and courageous. So maybe it's like the cure for cancer. Then Aquarius is making that cure available to everybody, right? So Medicare, right? So we want to have both. So it's not just everything for me. We want everything to then be able to amplify the collective to help our neighbors as well. So conversations go deep today. Powerful truths may surface. You may feel the urge to speak boldly and confront what's hidden, right? Pluto is hidden. It's great for investigation. Be mindful not to overpower. Honor both voice and vulnerability. Voice and vulnerability. Because not everyone's going to be excited to hear your voice. Not everyone's going to be able to hear the truth telling that's going to come from your mouth. But sometimes it's needed to kind of air everything out, everything that's been under the surface. We're bringing it to light. But can we do so in a tactful, kind, loving manner? Right? Sun's in Cancer. We're asking, you're being asked to be mindful of how everyone will receive it. I remember when I got my first corporate job as at the time it was the purchasing coordinator for keg restaurants. And I wielded a very big hammer. And so I wielded the hammer in every call. And my boss had to call me and go, Chantel, okay, you need to be very mindful in how you wield the hammer. You don't want to just hit the hammer everybody. We want to pull out the hammer after we've tried to hold someone accountable and they haven't been holding themselves accountable. So we don't just bring it out in every meeting. We're going to bring it out in ways that is very strategic. And I was like, yes, that's a good idea. I would have never known. I was just like, no, I'm going to wield this hammer because I'm going to hold everybody accountable. But we never asked people. We didn't give them a road back to being in accountability, right? All this to say, it is really important in this energy not to fire hose people, not to try and get your point across at the risk or at the to ruin the relationship, right? We want to see how can we say what we need to say while it's being received properly, right? If I'm just yelling all the time, who's going to listen? But if I use proper words, or I found even with my kids, if I whisper, man, do they listen, right? But if I'm yelling, nobody's listening. So choosing the tone of your voice, choosing the timing of what you want to say in a way that feels appropriate for the person, the audience, so that the audience can receive your message. Because if you're just thinking about what I want to say and how I want to say it, then it's not going to be received by the other person. And you can't get mad because you're doing it for you, not for them. So this is asking you to live from heart, not from ego. That how do you want, if you're having a conversation or you're trying to communicate something or you're telling a story or you're writing something, if you're writing a book, this is great information for now really thinking about your audience and how are they going to receive this? What is the impact, Pluto, that you want to make in the world? So be careful with manipulation, verbal dominance, and control. This is a very intense aspect. So you can use it for deep, revelations and research and uncovering the truth. Or you can use it to fire hose people and try to get your way. And, it's not going to work very well. The second one's not going to work very well. So wishing you a very mindful week of being grounded in your body, of noticing where you feel triggered and using this energy for genius opportunities, for clarity, for forward momentum later in the week, right? In the beginning of the week, notice what's coming up for you to shift it. So you're going to get the information and then you're going to understand the lesson later in the week. So being open to that. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Story of Spirit podcast. I hope you have found inspiration, support, and practical insights to help you align with your soul-led purpose and live a life that sets your soul on fire. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Your support helps us to reach more listeners and continues to provide valuable content. I sincerely appreciate every share, and I know it is how most people find me. It is because caring people like you have shared me with them at the right and perfect time. For more resources, insights, and to connect with our community, please visit us at www.shetellstory.com and follow us on Instagram at shetellstory. Remember, your journey to a more aligned and vibrant life is just the beginning, and I am here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, stay aligned, stay inspired, and keep shining your beautiful light. This is Shetell Story, signing off from the Story of Spirit podcast. Here's the legalese that's required by our lawyers. This podcast and the YouTube channel represents the opinions of She Tells Story and her guests to the show. The content should not be taken as medical, psychological, or financial advice. This series is informational and entertainment purposes only. Because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional, your mental health dream team, your financial advisor, or anyone else that's an expert in the field in where you are thinking of making big choices in your life.